advancing form. Shift weight to the right. Open. Rotate. Deep breath. Reverse. Make yourself small. Pivot out with your right heel. Hold your ball. Out with your left heel to ward off. Shift weight. Hold your ball. Out with your right heel. Ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Turn the hips and waist, contact, push from the center. Separate, roll back, sit back. Spin up and forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, shift your weight, hook, single whip. Sit back, sit down, pivot, shift weight, raise hands. White crane, step back, brush the advancing right hand as you watch. Set it up correctly. White crane spreads its wings. Bisect, look back, use your hips and waist. Brush knee 1. Half step. Sit back, rock the front, play your lute. Brush knee 3 times. 1. Look back, shift weight. Step out 2. Sit back, look back, set it up correctly, brush knee 3, half step, sit back, rock the front, play your lute. Pivot to the left as you deflect, parry, and punch. Strip, roll back, sit down, spiral up, lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step, open step, in step. Embrace the tiger, move over, rotate on your wrists, cross hands. Shift to the right, pivot to the right, drop the hand, lift it up on your toe, lift off the ground, brush knee. Return to the mountain. Use your hips and waist, contact, push from the center, roll back, sit down, spiral up, lunge forward. As if you're getting into a single whip, I call this movement swirl hands, step out with your left heel, swirl around, weave through, fist under elbow. Repulse monkey 3 times. 1. Look back, lift off, multitask. 2. Retract. All together, lift ear, middle, push and pull. Hold your ball on a diagonal. Step out with your right heel, flying diagonal. Half step. Push forward, raise hands. White crane, step back, brush, watch the advancing right hand. White crane spreads its wings. Bisect. Swirl back, look back. brush knee 1, half step, needle to the bottom of the seat. Flash your arms like a fan. Sit back, pivot, chop with the fist, retract, deflect, parry, and punch. Sit back, ward off. Hold your ball, step forward, push out, grasp the bird's tail. Lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step. Getting into a single whip. Cloud hands 5 times. Sit back, pivot, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 1, 2, 'Use your hips and waist. 3, 4, and 5. Hook, T, out L, single whip. Half step, high pad on the horse. Open, right hand on the outside, kick out with your toe right, down, weave through, open up, palms down, shift weight, left hand, left foot out, toe, counterclockwise spin, left hand on the outside, kick out, left. Brush knee 2 times, 1, 2. The third time, as if you're doing a brush knee, but you're going to fist your right and punch to the ground. Sit back, pivot, punch with the fist, retract, deflect, sit back, brush, open up, kick out with your right, step back, sway back, left heel out, look to the left, look to the right, strike the tiger. Twist in, open fist on a T, out on an L, look to the right, fist, look to the left. Sit back, pivot in, pivot out, brush, open, center, cross hands, kick out, right, in, down with your right heel, double punch. Sit back, pivot out, left hand outside, left foot coming up, kick out, left, clockwise, spin, right hand on the outside, right kick out, to then deflect, parry, and punch. Drip, open up, roll back, sit down, spiral up and out. Apparently closing. Cross hands, move over, up. Shift weight to the right, pivot in. Drop the left, follow it up, off the ground, out, spin, brush knee. Return to the mountain. Contact, push from the center. Roll back, up and out. Getting into a single whip on a diagonal. Shift weight. We're going to do 4. Part the wild horse's mane on a holding the ball on a diagonal or on an angle, but stepping forward on a straightaway, like now. 2. Shift weight, hold ball, step out. 3. Step forward, hold ball. 4. Then we do a ward off. Sit back. Hold your ball to ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do 4 maidens on different quadrants. T, hook, out L, single whip. Sit back, pivot in, hold ball, cross, spin, out, turn the hips and waist, maiden on her first quadrant. Sit back, pivot in, hold your ball, step back, spin, step out, spin the ball, rotate, turn the hips and waist, 2, sit back, forward, hold your ball, step out, spin the ball, turn your hips and waist, 3, sit back, pivot in, spin around, hold your ball, step out, spin the ball, turn the hips and waist, 4th and final. Sit back, pivot out, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, pivot out, 2, hold your ball, 2, ward off, to grasp the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do 5 cloud hands. Sit back, 12 o'clock, pivot, 3 o'clock, 1. Use your hips and waist, 2. Hands do not lead your motion, 3. 4. 5. Getting into a single whip. Serpent in the grass. Sit back, pivot in, pivot out, down. Stack yourself halfway, veer to the left, set, shift your weight up, golden cockerel. Step back, exchange hands, golden cockerel 2, brush knee 3, 1, 2, 3. Hold your ball on an angle, step back, step forward, flying diagonal. Step forward, half step, pull back, push forward, raise hands. White crane, then step back, brush, watch the advancing right hand, set up correctly. Drop and bisect, swirl back, look back, lift off the ground, brush knee. Half step, needle to the bottom of the seat. Flash arms like a fan. Sit back, pivot, chop with the fist. Out. Turn the palm down, shift the weight to deflect, to parry, and then to punch. Sit back, hold your ball to ward off, to grasp the bird's tail. Use your hips and waists, the drivers of your motions. Getting into a single whip. After which, 3 cloud hands. 1, 2, 3. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do a high pat on the horse. Half step, sit back, open up, look to the right, lift off, pat your horse. Cross, fist under elbow. Sit back, pivot in, pivot with your toes. Cross hands up, kick out, right. Drop on the heel of the right on an angle, punch to the groin. Sit back, hold your ball to ward off. To grasp the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do serpent in the grass. Single whip, sit back, pivot in, pivot out, drop down, halfway, spin out to the left, set, come up, fist, 7 stars. Weight on the left, step back, weight down, open up, ride the tiger. Pivot on the toe, pivot on the heel. Weave the left hand through, fist under elbow. Brush, turn the fists down. Lotus kick. Pick up the bowl. Shoot the tiger. Shift to the left. Deflect. Parry. Punch. Strip. Roll back. Sit down. Spiral up. Lunge out. Apparently closing. Cross hands or embrace. Rotate. Bring the tiger up. Closer. Push out. Drop your shoulders. Make yourself small. Flex your knees. As you now close your form. Commencing form. Shift weight to the right. Heel of the left toe open. Rotate. Deep breath. Reverse. Make yourself small. Pivot with your right heel. Hold your ball. Off the ground with your left. Ward off. Shift weight. Hold your ball. Step out, right heel, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, push from the center. Roll back, sit down, spiral up, lunge forward. Getting into a single whip, twist step, 9 o'clock. 12 o'clock, T-stance, hook the hand, step out on an L, single whip. Sit back, pivot in, getting into a raise hands. White crane. Step back, brush, watch the advancing right hand, lift off the ground, set it up correctly. White crane spreads its wings. Tuck the elbow, bisect, swirl back, look back, brush, brush knee one. Half step, play your lute. Brush knee 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Half step to play your lute. Pivot to the left to deflect. Shift weight, step out, retract to parry, then to punch. Strip, roll back, sit down, spiral up and out. Apparently closing, pivot, open pivot, in pivot, embrace the tiger or cross hands, move over, up, shift to the right, pivot to the right. Drop the left. On the toe of the right, lift off the ground, brush knee. Return to the mountain. Roll back. This next movement is like single whip, but I call it swirl hand. Step out with your left heel. Use your hips and waist. Weave through, fist under elbow. Repulse monkey 3 times. Hold your ball. Step back. Step out with your right heel. Flying diagonal. Step forward, half step. Raise hands. Pull back, push forward. White crane spreads its wings. Then step back. Brush. Watch that right hand go up. Lift off the ground. White crane spreads its wings. Drop the front foot. Tuck the elbow to bicep. Swirl back, look back. Brush knee 1. Half step, needle to the bottom of the sea. Flash arms like a fan. Sit back, pivot in, chop with the fist, out, retract, turn the fist down, shift the weight, deflect. Sit back to ward off. Roll back, sit down, spiral up and lunge forward, getting into a single whip. Getting into 5 cloud hands. Sit back, pivot in, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1. Two. 3. 4. Getting into a single whip. Hook, out L, single whip. Half step, getting into a high pat. Look at the right. Shift the weight, lift off the ground, pat your horse. Cross, step out to the left, gather the energy, center the energy, kick with the toe of the right, down, weave through the right, gather energy, shift weight, toe kick with your left, counterclockwise spin, left hand on the outside, kick out, left, brush knee 2, 1, the third time, we fist our right hand and step out and punch to the ground. sit back, pivot in, chop with the fist, out, snake spits poison, deflect, parry, and punch. Sit back, brush, twist out to the left, gather energy, right kick, step back, pull down, step out with your left heel, look to the left, fist the hands as you strike the tiger, look to the right. Sit back, twist in, open the fists, T, step out, look to the right, fist, look to the left. Sit back, pivot in, pivot out, brush, open, right hand on the outside, kick out, right in as we double punch. Sit back, open up, left hand on the outside for a left kick, clockwise spin, right hand on the outside for a right kick, to then deflect, parry, and punch. Strip, roll back, sit down, spiral up, lunge forward, apparently closing, twist, open, in, embrace, move over, rotate on the wrists up to chest level, bring it in, shift weight to the right, pivot in, drop the left, follow it on the toe of your right, lift off the ground, spin, brush knee, return to the mountain, contact but push from the center. Getting into a single whip on a diagonal. Four, parting of the wild horse's mane. Shift the weight, hold the ball. Out with your right heel on a straightaway, turn the hips and waist. One, sit back, pivot out, shift the weight, hold the ball, straightaway heel of the left, two, sit back, pivot out, hold your ball, shift your weight, heel, three, sit back, pivot out, hold your ball, shift weight, heel, four. Next, we're going to sit back and we're going to ward off. Form your ball, forearm, turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do maiden, works her shuttles on 4 quadrants. Here we go with single whip. T, hook, L, single whip. Sit back, pivot in, cross the right heel, hold your ball, spin the ball, step out with your left heel, turn the hips and waist. Maiden shuttles on her first quadrant. Sit back, pivot in, hold your ball, step back, spin slightly, spin the ball, step out, maiden second quadrant, sit back, step forward, shift weight, hold ball, spin, step out, maiden 3, step, sit back, pivot in, step back, spin, step out, spin the ball, 4th quadrant. Sit back slightly, pivot out, hold ball, step out, part the wild horse's mane. Getting into a ward off, sit back, form your ball, step out to ward off, cross the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do 5 cloud hands. Sit back, 12 o'clock, open, 3 o'clock, 1, 2, use your hips and waist. They drive your movements. 3, not your hands. Hands go for the ride. 4, 5. Getting into a single whip, after which we'll do serpent in the grass. Sit back, pivot in, pivot out. Stack yourself halfway, here to the left. Set, golden cockerel 2 times. 1, step back, shift the hands, firm down on the back. 2, repulse monkey. 3, 3, hold your ball on an angle, step back, spin out, step forward, flying diagonal. Half step, retract, pull back, pull, push forward, raise hands. White crane. Start to move the upper body, then step back, brush and watch the advancing right. Set it up. White crane spreads its wings. Drop and bisect and tuck the elbow. Swirl back, look back. All together, multitask to brush knee. Half step to bottom of the sea. And to flash arms like a fan. Sit back, pivot, chop with the fist. Sit back, turn the fist down, shift the weight to deflect, then to parry, and then to punch. Ward off, hold your ball, shift weight, forearm. Getting into a single whip, then 3 cloud hands. Sit back, pivot. 1, 2, 3. Getting into single whip and high pad on the horse. Half step. Sit back, look to the right, lift the front, off the ground, pat your horse. Step forward, fist under elbow. Sit back, pivot in, pivot on the toe, cross hands, kick out right, heel down on an angle, turn the hips and waist, punch to the groin. Sit back, hold your ball to ward off. To grasp the bird's tail. Getting into a single whip and then a serpent in the grass. Sit back, pivot in, pivot out, stack yourself, slither through. 7 stars. Retract, drop down, drill down, ride the tiger. Pivot on the toe, pivot on the heel, weave through, fist under elbow. Sit back, pivot in, brush to the right, lotus kick. Bend the bow, shoot the tiger. Shift the weight to deflect, parry, punch, strip, roll back, sit down, spiral up, energy out. Sit back, twist, apparently closing. Cross hands or embrace, rotate up, in, push out. Make yourself small, energy all back home as you now close your form.